Well, hey everyone, it's been a bit of a while since I gave you a full overview look of my entire Blu-ray collection, and someone was asking about me doing a new video. I figured it's been a long week at work for me, and I just got home not too long ago, and just felt like might as well go ahead and do it. And I'll spare you all the kind of warming up stuff I did at the beginning of the video here, because there's a ton of shit to get through. I've got like over 200 titles now, so whatever I had in the last video I did like over a year ago, I got shit ton more from that point onward. So let's just jump into everything. I want to get this done as quickly as possible. Don't want it to be like 2 hours, so let's go ahead and jump into the first alphabetical title here, which is Steven Seagal 3-pack. I got Above the Law, which makes it top of the alphabet there, and 200 Siege films. And talking with Trent after Steve, him, and I did our Back to the Future commentary about jumping back into some Seagal for our commentary tracks, and we'll probably be skipping On Deadly Ground for right now because he wants to do Under Siege 2. I really want to do The Glimmer Man, so does he, so we'll kind of skip over On Deadly Ground, go to Under Siege 2 and do some Glimmer Man after that. But so really good. I got this for my birthday about 2 years ago or whatnot, so that was kind of good because it's nice to get a little upgrade from those old cruddy early DVD versions that were out. And something I picked up sometime last year was Adventures in Babysitting, because the DVD release was just non-anamorphic, and that just doesn't cut it, especially when I had Netflix, had the film up on Netflix, and figured I was watching that, and then I just needed something else to just head out an Amazon order or something like that. So threw this on there. It wasn't all that much, and there's nothing really else on it, but the film's good, and Steve's a big fan of this film, so I don't know, maybe a commentary down the line or whatnot, who knows. But one of the earliest things I got was the Alien Anthology for my Blu-ray collection and everything, so it's been on like every one of these videos. There's not too much to say about it. I mean, I did the review of the first Alien forever horror months ago, and it did okay, but it never really caught on fire with the review or whatnot, view-wise or comments-wise, so I gauged that there really wasn't enough interest for me to cover the rest of the films in the franchise. And I will say that I'm not the biggest fan of James Cameron's film in the franchise. I have a bit of a appeal towards Alien 3, despite there's a lot of problems, and you have to be kind of in the right mood to see it and really kind of soak yourself into it. So I'd have a lot of differing and interesting opinions going forward if there was a demand for me to do reviews for the remainder of the franchise. But like I said, I did the review for Alien, and not too much went on to it. I got a whole lot more reviews out of the Alien Covenant review, a film I didn't like, and that got a lot more traction and everything, but the review of the original film still lags well behind it, so make out of that what you want. But there's not being anyone demanding that I do the rest of the franchise, so I haven't really had much of an interest to delve into it, because it's a lot of hard work going into those hours-long documentaries and watching different cuts of the film. It's a lot to get into, and if no one's really demanding it, I'm not very much passionate enough to really just delve into it on my own or whatnot. So regardless of that, that's your problem. Put in comments and say things in regards to that. And I've got both amazing Spider-Man films. I really very much like the first film. I have the James Horner score for it, which is wonderful. I probably should have more James Horner scores and everything, but that's the only one I've had. But I like this film. I enjoyed it when I first saw it. When I saw it in the theater, I eventually had like a free pass to see another film that summer, so I did see this twice in the theater, and do need to spend more time to revisit fully. The sequel I did enjoy at the time, but I'm sure if I ever bothered to ever watch it again, which I don't think I've ever watched as Blu-ray in the, like, the movie came out like 3 years ago or something like that, haven't watched it, I probably, well, it's probably one of those films that's going to sit in my collection for eons. Then I'll sell it someday when I just don't give a shit anymore. Army of Darkness, the Scream Factory set. If you watch my Evil Dead trilogy retrospective last year, this was integral to the whole part of it all. And it was the first one of the trilogy I had on Blu-ray. The other ones I just had on DVD releases before, which I did sell off because I'm not as big of a fanatic about the Evil Dead stuff. I do like them. Obviously, you watch the thing, I praise all the films of the franchise, but I didn't feel like I needed to be a collector of the various versions, so I did sell off my Book of the Dead edition of the original Evil Dead, which sold for a ton of money. This was in high demand. I got bids all over the place. It was a very high price it went off for, so pleased by that. And Evil Dead 2, I just had the limited edition tin, which wasn't too much of anything, so I sold it off, and we'll get to the Blu-rays. I have those eventually. But picked this up recently because I pretty much bought this on the day that we did the commentaries, because I was betting it around for a long time to get this, but the price never really sunk down as much as I really wanted to, because I did have the 25th anniversary DVD set, which I just sold off for a fair amount of money, because Half Price Books was going to give me like less than $3 for like that and a couple of horror film DVDs and everything like that. I just made about $25 off that same lot of stuff on eBay, so consider myself fortunate and everything. But so I went off. I went off the Best Buy price matches to Amazon, which I usually do these days, and eventually they'll stop doing that someday. But until then, I'll keep making use of it. So I got this. We did have a fantastic time doing the commentary, and there's a lot of bonus stuff I got to get into. Watch this stuff for the remainder of the franchise, but we're spreading it out over quarters of the year, so about every 2 to 3 months we'll be doing the next installment in the trilogy. So first one will be up in about a week or so, or two, or whatever it is, and then move on from there. And last year I picked up the Bad Boys 1 and 2 collector set and everything, and it's kind of an interesting thing, because I like the first Bad Boys, and I've tried to sit down again and watch it to do a review on it, but I feel like I keep trying to do this, like, the film isn't really review worthy. It's definitely, we could definitely get a commentary out of these films. Absolutely. I don't know Steve or Trin or whatnot, but I think we could do some commentaries on this, but I felt like watching the first Bad Boys, there's not enough substance in the film for me to get into to really do a proper critique of the film. It's not really a film of critique that you can get into. It's like either you like it or you don't, because it's kind of big, silly, absurd, but I can tell you the Blu-rays will look absolutely fantastic, mastered in 4K, and went off, bought this at Best Buy. I don't think it really wasn't all that much money, I don't think, so you can usually pick this up for a nice price if you're interested, because, like I said, the transfers, wonderful. Not any really new special features, but they poured over all the stuff from the special edition discs from DVD and everything, so if you're interested, definitely get this collector set with both films. You'll definitely appreciate it, or they'll probably be putting out the Ultra HD versions if they haven't already. Eventually they will, so there's that. And a pair of Batman animated titles, because obviously I did my review of Mask of the Phantasm in November. If you haven't seen the review, definitely go check it out. Put a lot of nice hard work and a lot of heart into that review and everything, because saw this in the theater. I saw this in the theater in Christmas time that year, '93, and loved it ever since. So there's a fantastic film, and I have the DVD of Batman Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero, but for the life of me, I probably haven't watched it in like 20 years or whenever it is, whenever I got that. Probably haven't watched it since the day I bought it, probably like 16, 17 years ago, who knows. But I got the Batman Dark Knight Returns, the deluxe edition Blu-ray, because when Batman v Superman was coming out for about 2 months before the release, I was like, this is the film I really want to cover leading up to that and everything, because there was so much being taken inspiration-wise, influence-wise from this into that, whether it's terribly successful in adapting those ideas and everything, who knows, but this is a really fantastic adaptation of that Frank Miller comic book and everything, graphic novel, really good. Go check out that review as well. I should make a playlist for Batman stuff, but I haven't done that much. I've done animated features for Batman, because I think a lot of those kind of nail the essence of Batman better. The creative team they have around that stuff really usually tends to do a fantastic job of adapting those characters very well. So there's these two, and then early on I did a Batman Under the Red Hood. So maybe I'll make a short playlist for those films and whatnot, so you can check that out. And Beverly Hills Cop, did my review of it last summer. I definitely still intend to do the second film as a full review. And like at the end of that, I'll kind of mention the third film, because there's not much I need to get into on the third film. It's not really much worth your time or worth my time to do a full review or even a mini review. I'll just mention it and give a brief critique and end the review. So there's that. Big Trouble in Little China. Definitely always gotta have some John Carpenter on Blu-ray and everything. Wonderful fucking film and everything. Another one I haven't watched. I bought Birdman on Blu-ray after it won the Oscars and everything that year, because I really wasn't intending to buy it. I did enjoy it in the theater, but I just have not watched it since the theater. So again, it's probably one of these titles that's going to sit in here forever until just fucking sell it. Make some bucks off of it. I don't know. It's just one of those films like you really enjoy it, but you never really need to see it again. I don't know. This one, definitely need to take the time to watch it. The Black Christmas Scream Factory edition, which my sister got me for Christmas. So I really need to see this. I did my review of it a while ago, before this disc even was released. But yeah, this is a fantastic. This is one of the best horror films I've ever seen. It's continually just creepy and chilling and just absolutely effective on every level every time I see it. It's one of the best I've ever seen, absolutely, positively. And a little release got here with Black Rain, so got my poster up with Michael Douglas and everything. And again, another one. You're gonna hear this a lot. I've done my review of this thing a couple years ago, but in general, this is I find some people that find this a little dry, a film that they don't find as appealing as I do. I find it fantastic. The cinematography is brilliant, mostly from Jan de Bont, who did Die Hard, went off to direct Speed and everything. So it looks fantastic, as Ridley Scott films usually do. The performances are excellent. I think the story is brought to life by the performances and the direction and all the other cultural elements in the thematic qualities of the film. It's a great film. I really think it's really worth anyone's time to check it out and get your own opinion settled on that. And did this and covered these two in a recent couple months ago on a video update and whatnot. Both Blade and Blade 2. I think the first Blade is the best film of the franchise. Everyone's gaga over Blade 2. I got a lot of problems with Blade 2, but the first Blade is just fucking badass as hell, man. Bad CGI aside, it is a fantastic fucking film. Badass. Wesley Snipes, top of his game. I just love the tone, the mood, the consistency of everything throughout the entire course of the film. And Blade 2 just feels a little scattershot to me. It feels like there's a lot of plotting issues and different from one act to the next, and different turns in the story. Just never fully did it, but it's a Guillermo del Toro film that always looks vibrant and lush and whatnot. So if I already had the DVD, which I did, I might as well upgrade with the Blu-ray while I was upgrading the first film. So there was that. And Blade Runner, my 30th anniversary collector's edition set, which is a little more condensed than the original Blu-ray set, because the original Blu-ray set had Blu-rays and then stuff on DVDs as well, special features on DVD. This kind of took all the DVD stuff and just kind of compiled it into a Blu-ray, so you could have more space to put all that stuff in there and just make it more economical as a 3-disc set and everything. And really enjoy watching this. And notice I didn't do a review on Blade Runner 2049 because I just didn't get much out of it, sadly. I had really kind of focused in on the original Blade Runner and just finally got a deeper appreciation after really kind of chipping away at the film for a long time. I really kind of just got enlightened by the film right before I saw the sequel, and it just left me a little flat, unfortunately. Not that there isn't good qualities to it, but I just felt like it didn't have the same core of what Roy Batty brings to that original film. That sort of thing felt like it was missing that real depth of pure humanity within the film. Just didn't have that one little spark in it that you had with that brilliant performance from Rutger Hauer. But regardless of that, the Chuck Russell version of The Blob, which I picked up last October or whatnot, from Umbrella Entertainment, which is an Australian company that does a lot of mostly region-free stuff, I think. There's some stuff that is and isn't, but this one does say Region B, but it plays perfectly fine on my Region A player, so not much of a problem there. Usually you can check out their stuff, probably cross-reference it on like Blu-ray.com or some other sites with some chatter about it, and find out what is compatible with Region A releases or devices and such. But there's that and everything. It's a good film. enjoyable and a little bit put together here. I got some Bond, Mr. James Bond. After well, a little off there. I'll go back to that. Since I just said James Bond, I got some Bond films. We got a little bit of Sean Connery here. I have not watched any of this stuff yet with Connery yet, shockingly. But this one has his first 3 films, Dr. No, From Russia with Love, and Goldfinger, so that was kind of a no-brainer to really get that if I'm going to get a little Connery, those are the films obviously to get. And I got some Roger Moore here, Spy Who Loved Me, which is heralded his best film. Kind of get a little bit more enjoyment from my Steelbook version of For Your Eyes Only, because I checked this out on Hulu or whatnot when I was getting up to Spectre was being released and everything. It's like, I really enjoyed this. It was a fun film or whatnot. It's not great, but it's a fun time. It had a lot of good action sequences, a lot of good stunt stuff, and all the globe-trotting type stuff. So I generally enjoyed the film. Even if it isn't fantastic, I really enjoy it. It's a fun ride, but Spy Who Loved Me is definitely a wonderful film. I got both Dalton films on Blu-ray, and that's fantastic stuff too. Little GoldenEye, my first Bond film I ever saw in the theater in '95, because to this day my sister is an old major Pierce Brosnan fan, so from Remington Steele onwards, got to see some Brosnan, and got World Is Not Enough and Casino Royale. This is the more expanded edition, the collector's edition version that has all the extra bonus content on it, because I had the really nice DVD version of this, which had like 3 discs of content. It was a really, really beautiful set. It was a little hard to let go of it because it was just wonderful. This whole digipack thing that folded out from a beautiful subcase and everything. But I wanted to get the Blu-ray. I wanted to get the upgrade, so I had to kind of get rid of that and go with this instead, because there's no sense in just having it there as a display piece when it could get me a little extra cash. And a little mini review I did in October for Abel Ferrara's Body Snatchers, which I generally enjoyed. Again, some people don't get much from it, but I thought it had some admirable filmmaking qualities to it, even if it did fall short in some other areas. I thought it was a nice film. But we got a little Jason Bourne stuff here, the original 3 films in a steelbook fashion here. And I have seen the mini-series. It was Richard Chamberlain, I think it was, from the late 80s. I did watch that a couple of years ago, because I think it was in 94, 2014, 2015. I was kind of thinking about doing like a retrospective on the 3 films, and I was kind of watching the original mini-series to kind of get that context for it. And it is a much more faithful adaptation to the actual book, and it was pretty good. But you'd have to settle in, kind of get into the vibe of like a more of a slow-moving 80s sort of mini-series type of feel to it. But it was a good film that has familiar things to the Matt Damon version, but definitely has many more differences because it is closer to the original source material. But all 3 of these films, I like Supremacy the best. A lot of people kind of go all over with Ultimatum, but I think because Supremacy is such a big leap in just dramatic storytelling from Identity and so much more emotional depth to it, I just like Supremacy better. I just like the story overall more than Ultimatum in general, because just reasons and whatnot. Whatever. Let's move on. Captain America Winter Soldier. This is the Target exclusive version, which I never really kind of noticed what exactly more I had on this, but it ended up being the Blu-ray 3D version, but I don't have 3D TV or anything, but it had bonus content, which is always usually the thing I would go for. If you got a version that's like special packaging or bonus content, most times I'll go with the one that has the bonus content, so because I can make actual use of that. I can actually maybe enjoy that more, or put time into enjoying that and everything. But Shopping Mall, the Vestron video version and whatnot, and you gotta watch this film. You gotta check this out. I got this on a nice little deal, I think. Best Buy, I think, had this on sale, so I definitely jumped on top of that. And John Carpenter's Christine, another one of those films like, you know it's really good. You watch it, it's a good film, and it sits on your shelf for the next 6 years. And it's like, it feels like one of those films like, you know it's good, but you just can't get yourself to the point. It's like being yeah, I really want to sit down and rewatch it. It's like you can just remember all the moments in your head, but it's like, just like you can't get over that hump and whatnot. And I got all these films and whatnot, but there's Chronicles of Riddick, another steelbook from Universal and everything, and another one I saw in the theater. I like the director's cut better, probably because I saw all the extra scenes in the trailer that weren't in the theatrical release, and I was a bit upset by that. And so I just like seeing those extra scenes, but I probably would have to take a little bit more time to appreciate which version functions better in that type of way. And Cobra, little Stallone there. I've done a review, I've done a commentary. I don't need to say anything more on this channel. Collateral, did my review in December. You can go check that out. Trying to speed things up here, as you can see. There's a lot more to go through. Schwarzenegger, did Eraser a few years ago as a review. Collateral Damage, haven't gotten around to watching it again. I saw it in the theater, and I don't have much of an opinion on it. Because I really don't remember much from the film to forge an opinion on it. Conjuring 2, I got the first Conjuring on DVD, and I can never quite end up finding a Blu-ray copy that's cheap enough, that's worth upgrading, so it remains on DVD with like a standard def digital copy and everything, so there's that. But I really enjoyed this. I thought it was still very effective. Wasn't quite as good as the first film, but I still thought it was very high quality horror stuff. And moving on to Little Constantine with Keanu Reeves, a film I saw again twice in the theater in 2005, and had the DVD release with the comic book and everything that was in there. So I had the full collector's edition version of this, and I picked this up late last year, whatnot, thinking about maybe doing a review, but it was kind of I was kind of coming up on Forever Horror Month too fast, and I couldn't really put in the time I needed to reread the entire trade paperback and everything, which I do have Dangerous Habits over there. But I got about maybe a third of the way through and figured I'm not going to get through all this and process it and be able to do the review and all this other stuff. But Crow, as you know, I did my review last summer. You can go check that out. And picked up Die Hard when we did our commentary, because I figure we're getting together doing the commentary, I might as well get the best quality version going on. But obviously the 4K remaster is coming out soon. Again, there's no details on the release just yet, and it's like a month and a half away from release. So we'll see if Fox picks up the pace and gives us some info on that. It'd be nice to know if the 4K remaster is going to be on both the Ultra HD disc and the 1080p disc. Hopefully that's the case, but seems unknown. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, love it, still watch it. I saw it in the theater in 30 years ago. I saw it in the theater 30 years ago, and it still holds up. I actually got a kind of a like or whatnot from Frank Oz, who's the director of the film, because he was talking about it on Twitter one night, and I kind of posted a reply to it, and he kind of liked my post, so that made my night. And as I said, I'm going to be doing a re-review of this, a redux review of Frank Langella as Dracula. That's why I have my Laserdisc with the original color timing, because this is all drained out. So we'll have to see where I go from that point onwards. And of course, Francis Ford Coppola's version of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Haven't watched the disc yet. I bought this 3 years ago when I was doing the reviews of Lost Boys and Fright Night. Thought about doing this one as well and kind of batted around a little bit, but I didn't feel like I had a fresh enough take at the time to delve into it. So this has been sitting on the shelf waiting, kind of simmering and whatnot, because I got my poster up here. I've had it for years. I had it for longer than I've had this. And so probably this October I'll probably delve into this and give it just due, because I gotta make do for it. And of course I got Dread on Blu-ray and everything, so had the DVD version originally, and just recently got the Blu-ray and everything, and good stuff. Fantastic film, love it. Drive, Ryan Gosling, Nicholas Winding Refn. I saw this not in the theater. I saw it about like a year after it hit the theater, so I saw it in a home video from like a Redbox whatnot, and loved the style of it. It felt like a very 1980s Michael Mann-esque sort of vibe to it and everything, which, as you know, I love that type of thing. Miami Vice, Manhunter, Thief, love that type of style. Really enjoyed this. Have the soundtrack, have a poster. I got that stuff going. And a little more Abel Ferrara with the Arrow video release of Driller Killer, which have not watched yet. I still have the old DVD because it has a commentary from Abel Ferrara where he's drunk off his fucking ass. And it's fucking hilarious. But obviously with this Arrow video release, they kind of polish everything up. Brand new remaster from the like 16mm print and whatnot. So it's not going to look amazing, but it'll look better than that old thing that's not anamorphic. Looks like it was drug up from the scummy streets of New York in this film. But they got like all types of new stuff, new commentaries, new behind the scenes stuff. Fantastic. I gotta take the time because I do really enjoy Abel Ferrara. I need to watch more of his stuff. But moving on. Picked up The Edge of 17 some time ago because I really enjoyed this film in the theater. I was watching it 2 months ago, maybe, or whatnot, during like Saturday morning or whatnot. And I kind of got a little bit into it, but I kind of moved on to other things. But it's still a really good film or whatnot. I got this on a nice deal on eBay at the time of release and everything. But moving on, make sure I'm doing this in the right order. Edge of Tomorrow, which they're still planning to do the sequel. Apparently they're working on script rewrites and stuff like that. So as long as we still got Doug Liman, who I think is a very reliable director who does a lot of, always describe himself as like a fresh energy to things, because I love Go, Born Identity. He does a lot of good stuff, a lot of good energy to what he does. He always feels like he's very much into what he's putting up on screen. He's never on like a autopilot mode. He's always guys like very enthusiastic with what he wants to do. So this is a fun thing. I watched this time and time again when it came out on Blu-ray after I saw it in the theater and everything. So there's that. My Escape from New York, a Shout Factory disc, which I did a really long, involved review of some years ago or whatnot. But fantastic type of stuff. You can't go wrong with Snake Plissken. Can't. And of course my Evil Dead discs and everything, because it was easy to find this when I did the retrospective on the entire trilogy and everything. It's not too hard to find the Evil Dead 2 disc, but to find a version of Evil Dead with as much special features as possible was very difficult, because it was very strange that as many times as these films have been thrown out on home video over and over and over again, original Evil Dead did not have that many Blu-ray releases. It had a limited edition Blu-ray put out like Best Buy in like 2009, and then ever since then it's been a very stripped down single disc version that just has like a couple commentaries, and that's basically it. So my friend Richard on Facebook or whatnot, who's in UK, told me about this release and everything, which has all those types of, it's got 2.5 hours of special features. He told me this was region free, so I eventually had to get it off of Amazon Marketplace. It took a little while to get here, but it did get here, and it was invaluable to do the review and everything. So I was very much appreciative towards him to let me know about this release so I could grab that and do what I wanted to do there. And Ex Machina, I haven't watched this in quite a while, really need to revisit it, but Alex Garland, who was writer on Dread, takes up directing and writing and everything on this. He's the guy who just did, I believe, Annihilation, which I have not seen, but a lot of word coming out of that. So he seems like he's on a really good track record of quality stuff. So if you're not seeing this, if you're good into a lot of cerebral science fiction, this is worth your time to check out and everything. So well worth it on that. And moving on to a little Exorcist type of stuff, I got this version of The Exorcist, which is just a 2-disc digibook type of thing here, with a whole bunch of production stuff in here and notes and photos and stills and stuff like that. This there's a little bit more expanded version out there. I think it's like a 3-disc version. But at the time I was looking to secure this, this was a bit of a cheaper option to go with. And oddly enough, I ordered this online. The guy sent me the wrong, he took for fucking ever to actually send the blasted thing. I waited around for like 2 weeks, and then he sends me the wrong fucking movie. So then I had to go and return this, jump on the highway, go down to Disc Replay, and they had this sitting there. So, pain in the ass. But Exorcist 3, the Screen Factory edition, and I did watch the director's cut once. So anything I say about it is just based on a one-time viewing from a year ago. So I really do need to take more time to watch it over and over again. let it simmer and have it kind of take more of a place in my mind than the theatrical cut that I've been watching for 15 years or whatever it is. And it's more of it's a cut with stuff more taken out of it than there is added into it, which can seem to be like director's cuts usually like, oh well, you trimmed a whole bunch of stuff out of the film for theatrical release. Now it's like more of an expanded version. This is a much more quieter, intimate version of Exorcist 3 without the grandiose exorcism at the end of the film. Nicole Williamson's character is nowhere in there. Jason Miller's not in the film at all. Brad Dourif plays the entire part himself of Patient X, the Gemini Killer, and all that type of stuff. He's completely his performance on the entire film, and a lot of the takes and everything are very much different. It's a much more different approach, and it takes a little bit more getting used to. Like I said, don't just give it one viewing. Probably give it a couple of viewings over a span of time to let it kind of sink in and feel it, because if you follow British film critic Mark Kermode, he was a very close friend of Blatty's, and he's a champion for this version of the film. He did a foreword on a published version of the script that Blatty wrote and subsequently directed and everything for the film. So definitely look at a couple of his videos on his YouTube channel with Simon Mayo and everything. Definitely check out a couple of those videos. It'll give you a nice little education on all that type of stuff and his viewpoint about it, and his close personal relationship with Blatty and everything. But nice little thing here. Fallen. I saw this in the theater again 20 years ago, 1998, and still a good film. I really need to revisit this again because I was thinking about doing it back in October as a mini review, but it's not exactly a horror film. It has more of a supernatural thriller aspect. So I didn't want to kind of be in this like hyper horror mood and kind of absorb this. I need to be in a bit of a different feel for it, but it's still a fantastic film. Had this on VHS and DVD. Now I have it on Blu-ray. It's a beautiful looking film. Newton Thomas Sigel is a fantastic cinematographer. Pretty much does all of Bryan Singer's films, Usual Suspects, X-Men films he's done. He's a fantastic cinematographer. Definitely check his stuff out. I think he also shot Drive as well, so one of the undersung type of cinematographers out there. And Friday the 13th Part 2, I probably should get the entire Blu-ray set now that it's out, but I grabbed this last year when we were doing our commentaries for it because I love Part 2. It was about $2 or $3 at the mall, so I figured why the hell not, and just swap it out with my DVD copy and at least get one of these films in HD and everything. And FX2, FX, Murder by Illusion, FX2, The Deadly Art of Illusion. Really fun films. Really worthwhile to check these out. I saw these a couple of years ago. They're thoroughly fun, enjoyable type of things. The first film is definitely the better of the two, but it's still fun stuff either way you want to go with it. I'd definitely say these are well worth it. Kino Lorber stuff is a little bit more pricey because obviously they paid for a license for these type of things, so they kind of have to recoup their license costs or whatnot off of not huge titles and whatnot. A little bit more undersung gems in a lot of cases here and there, but really good stuff. I really enjoy these films so much. I really want to revisit these and do something on the channel for it, so eventually you'll see something with these films on the channel in general. But moving on, we got a little Ghostbusters, which we just finishing up our commentaries on these, and can't help it. Can't help it. These were two fantastic commentaries to do, and on DVD, when I got the DVD, Ghostbusters was the first DVD I ever bought. So eventually upgrading this to Blu-ray was something very special, whatnot, but fantastic stuff. And The Guest, which I mentioned in our Halloween 3 commentary to Steve, because he had not seen the film, and anyone who has seen the film knows it does have homages, references to a Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, because in the sort of big climax of the film, they're at this place that's all made up for this big Halloween party, and they have the 3 images of the masks from Halloween 3 up there in the background. So Adam Wingard definitely showing his John Carpenter homages and all that type of stuff in that film. Really enjoy it. Fantastic, and of course moves us on to my ultimate Blu-ray collection of the Halloween films. So commentary series will continue on that very soon. And moving on, let me move some stuff around here real quick. Just recently mentioned my Arrow video pickup of Hellraiser that my sister got me for my birthday. And like I said, you can go back and watch the video update and whatnot, but really good quality, really good stuff. Just had to get that eventually. I'm so glad she got that for my birthday and everything. And Highlander, the remastered 30th anniversary edition, and recently when I was doing the Halloween, shift my gears here, the Highlander 3 review, I was looking at the special features on this stuff. because I saw there's like a bunch of featurettes and interviews and stuff like that on here, and it was all kind of more archival stuff that was kind of put together from different sources from like years ago or whatnot. I was a little disappointed that it wasn't like a brand new documentary in a certain way, but it was still good quality stuff and the best the films ever looked. Period. Let me get a little water here if I can, and just whatever. We got a little bit of more horror stuff here. I got a double feature of Happy Birthday to Me and When a Stranger Calls. Still intend to do something with Happy Birthday to Me because I watched it once and I was blown away. I was really surprised because I saw someone else's short review of it, and I was very much enticed to go track it down because the ending of the film is just blows your fucking mind. Absolutely. And little Van Damme, Hard Target. Need to watch this a little bit more, but good stuff in this all over the place. More Van Damme is needed in my collection. Heat, of course, review done about a year ago and change, but one of my favorite films of all time, absolutely. And a recent pickup was the Scream Factory version of The Howling, which absolutely, positively love this film. Wonderful stuff. On the original Forever Horror Month review. So that started off the whole thing, and Hunt for Red October. Love this film. Have it on Blu-ray and THX certified Laserdisc. So love it, absolutely, positively. More Carpenter, In the Mouth of Madness. Still hoping that they might do a more feature-packed version of this, because the commentary on this thing is a dry spell. It's just no good whatsoever. Carpenter and the cinematographer just kind of going through the motions and not really engaging much. Basically what you got is just the film in general. So it's kind of like the last really big, important Carpenter film that hasn't gotten a special edition. Some people might also say like Starman and whatnot, but that one really needs it. But Invasion of the Body Snatcher 78 from Scream Factory. Forever Horror Month last year, go check it out. Watch that. Another one that really needs to get sold off is this, Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit. It's really not that good. It's kind of okay, but I watched it again maybe a year and a half ago, whatever it was. Forget about it. January Man is an interesting film here. Kevin Kline, Susan Sarandon, Harvey Keitel, a whole bunch of people. It's an interesting film tonally because it never quite gets its tone right. It's got this crime thriller element to it, with Kevin Kline's character being this sort of off-the-wall type of detective on the police force, and a lot of farcical comedy, a little bit of romantic stuff there. It's a little can't keep the reel steady. But I watched it and I kind of like it. I'd really like to do an analysis on this film. Basically what it boils down to. Analysis is necessary. Analysis is necessary on this film. Fuck yes. I need to watch all the shit on this disc. I'm overdue by doing it because I probably should eventually do this review. Of course. Absolutely. Jaws. And let me get this water bottle out of my way. Both John Wick films. And yeah, they pretty much speak for themselves. They're awesome action films. The sequel is a little less than excellent, but it's still highly enjoyable. So there's that. Recently spoke about my Justice League pickup on the Target exclusive Digipack. I got the little tray fixed and whatnot. That was kind of, the glue was kind of moving around and whatnot, but it's a really nice thing with the lenticular cover. You can see that moving or not, but it's really nice. It's got a nice excerpt from the art of the film book in here. A lot of good artwork and stills and everything, high quality stuff. Enjoyed that. Leon the Professional in the 4K remastered edition. Another film that I haven't watched in so long, because I originally lent it to my DVD to an actor like about 2009 or whatnot, 2010, to kind of research one of the parts I had for him, and it kind of didn't have the disc for like the next year, and so I just kind of like never watched it again. So I got this upgrade last year. I really need to freaking watch that again. Lethal Weapon stuff. We're going to be doing Lethal Weapon 4 as a commentary this summer, because Steve and I had the wild idea. Let's just celebrate 20 years of Lethal Weapon 4, because that's what's coming up this summer. So I need to watch that film because I never have. So it's the only film in the franchise I've never seen. I have to see it now. So got Leviathan from Scream Factory, Shout Factory, whatever the case is. Did a review of it. Wonderful, fantastic, fun, entertaining type of film from George Cosmatos with Ernie Hudson and Peter Weller. Very wonderful stuff. Lights Out. I saw this in the theater and I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed it at a time when I was in a really bad point in time. I had a lot of emotional things going on, and the fact I was actually able to enjoy a horror film when I was in a bad state of mind, a bad emotional state, says enough. I don't think it's great, but it's worthwhile. It's worth it. Worth your time to check it out. Lost Boys, as always, Blu-ray, and got my review of it a couple years ago. Really wish there was a Fright Night Blu-ray out there that wasn't like enormously expensive, because Twilight Time put it out, and if you don't grab it first, you're going to have to pay like $60 for it down the line. So I'm just hoping someone gets another license for it and does a much more affordable release of that wonderful film. My Manhunter edition from Scream Factory and everything. Review was put out last year again, so that saves me time here. Marked for Death, we did our commentary last year. I did a review of it a couple of years ago, and just had to get an upgrade on Blu-ray and everything, because the original DVD, again, non-anamorphic, had to get nice quality Blu-ray for that. My favorite was Seagal film, and it ties into my Predator 2 review because of all the Jamaican posses and the drug cartels type of stuff. I'll talk about that film there too. A little Mad Max Fury Road in there, because didn't love the film, but I just kind of like, I got it on Black Friday, so it was dirt cheap, and so it's like, if I want something that's really gonna blow the shit out of the quality of my TV at all, this is kind of the thing to do it, because it's vibrant, it's sharp, it's beautiful, and I'll probably enjoy it again at some point in time. And a little more housekeeping here. Another film, I saw The Martian, loved it in the theater, picked up the Blu-ray because the price was good, and I didn't want to pass up a good price on a film I enjoyed that I still haven't watched again. Keeps happening over and over again. It's a fantastic film. Haven't watched it again. The Matrix, as I mentioned, is getting that 4K remaster. We'll see how the quality of that goes off with the cinematographer Bill Pope supervising that transfer and everything. We'll see how that measures up, if it's more close to the original theatrical version, closer to this version. Maybe it's a completely different version. Who knows? Christopher Lambert. Always got to have Christopher Lambert somewhere in here. And I got Mean Guns. This is from Platinum Cult Edition in Germany. This cost me about $30. So, you know I really wanted to get this, because all I had was this freaking old-ass fucking VHS tape, which is conveniently down there. I've had this VHS tape, which is pan and scan, because this is a CinemaScope feature. I've had this damn thing forever. Artisan, Lionsgate, don't want to put out a widescreen version of this at all. The DVD version is still the pan and scan fucking version. The streaming version is still the pan and scan version. This was the only release I could find that's in 2.35 to 1. And it's not the greatest transfer, but I'll take it. I took it for $30, waited like 2 weeks for it to show up, and so I'm trying to space out the Christopher Lambert stuff. I'll get to this eventually, because I did like stuff last year. I did Gunman, I did Mortal Kombat, I just did Highlander 3. So a couple months down the road, I'll get the Mean Guns as a review. So there's that. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. I like Ghost Protocol a lot more, and I haven't gotten around to upgrading that to Blu-ray, but I do have a streaming HD version. So pretty much, I think it was because I bought the ticket to this on Fandango, and they gave me a free copy of any one of the previous films I wanted, so I just grabbed Ghost Protocol and streaming HD, so trade-offs here and there. And of course, like I just mentioned, Mortal Kombat. Because, again, DVD I had was non-anamorphic, so makes sense to upgrade. Nice guys. Definitely need to watch this again. Again, this was at the time, the earlier part of that summer where things were still in a bad state of affairs for me. But the fact of this thing was so fantastic. I wanted to see this again in the theater, but because it didn't perform very well, it kind of went away very quickly. But one of Shane Black's best type of things, and having Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling just going full bore into the comedy of this thing was just absolutely fantastic. Gotta watch it. You've got to watch that. Nighthawk, Stallone, Rutger Hauer, Billy D. Williams action. I'm surprised because Steve hasn't watched this film. Trent hasn't watched this film. I need to get these guys to watch this fucking film because it's good. It's really good. You gotta watch this film because it's such a unique film in Stallone's filmography. Because it's after Rocky, it's before First Blood, it's before all the 80s action stuff, so it's like, it feels very much like a 70s cop thriller where he's got this fantastic beard and everything, and just wonderful, wonderful stuff. Just from that cast alone, Stallone, Rutger Hauer, Billy D. Williams, how do you not want to watch this film? You've got to watch this. And this is the another thing my sister got me for my birthday last year from Shout Select, so I really wanted to get this. It was fantastic. Really good stuff. Wonderful film. Just really, really enjoy that. And Nightmare on Elm Street stuff, there are commentaries. I've done a full franchise retrospective video that's gotten 42,000 views. I don't need to say anything else. Pacific Rim, I have not seen the sequel because it just didn't seem like it had the same appeal in general. Because, you know, when you got Guillermo del Toro, the guy is, you know, everything that guy puts up on screen, he passionately loves it dearly. That just shows through in everything he really does. Anything he puts up on screen, you just feel the love this guy has for what he does, what he puts on screen as a filmmaker, as a storyteller, as a visual filmmaker in general. This was such a sweet surprise, as I said recently, that it such a fantastic thing. I saw this, I saw it on like FX or whatnot one night, and it was just in HD. It's like, I gotta get this in HD. I gotta get rid of this fucking DVD and get an HD version of this. I got this used, so this was going for as much money new at Best Buy as it was kind of going for this 3D version, which, again, I don't have a 3D TV, but I really kind of like this lenticular slipcover is really kind of cool and everything. So there's that. Really fun. Just a fun film. It's just like Guillermo knows how to put all that heart into a fun popcorn type of adventure, and just like you can tell that he's just gleeful about the entire thing. But Pitch Black, I did my review of it a couple of years ago, and it's still a really good film. It's really enjoyable. Just kind of a nice B-movie surprise of the time and everything. Just really good stuff. Definitely check out my review. I really enjoyed doing this as a review and everything, especially after having seen it in high def. It really added a lot more to the quality of the visuals of the film. I did my Poltergeist 3 review a couple years ago, which I really enjoyed. I really want to get the Scream Factory version. Again, I just wish I could get a little bit cheaper. Just a little bit cheaper. I don't know. I keep waiting for a special price or whatnot, and get the Leaning Tower of Blu-rays over here. But I really enjoy that film. Still haven't seen the second film entirely. It's a weird franchise. It's a weird franchise. But love Point Break. Absolutely. If you saw my review last year, you know I love this fucking film dearly. I also have the soundtrack, which is also really cool and everything. But just fucking awesome movie. Just fucking awesome. Catherine Bigelow, brilliant film from her. Swayze and Keanu Reeves, all this type of stuff. Gary Busey. How you go wrong with that cast, too? Swayze, Keanu Reeves, Busey. You can't go wrong. And getting a little, showing off my little Predator stuff, because since I was doing the reviews, I was like, I had to pick up the Blu-ray because I was trying to watch the original Predator for the review last summer. It's like, I feel like this film could look better than it does on this compressed fucking DVD. So I got the Blu-ray, which is the early original Blu-ray without the DNR crap on it, but it doesn't have any of the special features. So I've hung on to my special edition DVD back there, and recently picked up Predator 2 for the review I am producing now, because I figured, yeah, sure, this was like $7, brand new, so why the hell not? I'd go for it. And Prince of Darkness from John Carpenter, also something I did a review of last year. Check it out. They recently put out the Steelbooks. I wish they put out the Steelbook sooner, because I would have gotten the Steelbook version if it was at the right time when I was wanting to do the review. Now it's like, I'm not just gonna swap it out and pay another $20 just to get a Steelbook version. Prometheus, I probably still haven't watched all this fucking bonus material on this thing, and it's like one of the first Blu-rays I got like 4 fucking years ago, and it's a film that's, now that I saw Alien Covenant, I have less of an interest in watching this film again. But regardless of that, we'll move on from that. Dwell on things. Purple Rain. This is the fucking movie, man. I got my Purple Rain poster over there. I've got the deluxe remastered soundtrack from last year over there. So I definitely really want to do a review on Purple Rain. And because I love this film, there was a time, like 2004, when the special edition DVD came out, I was like watching this film like as an obligation once a week. I was like, this week's almost over, I gotta watch Purple Rain again. So I've watched this film a lot of fucking times, and I absolutely adore it. Absolutely. Little Schwarzenegger with Raw Deal, another review I did some time ago, but it's one of those films I always really like. It's one of those odd, like it's kind of like the opposite end of like Nighthawks, where that's really good. Raw Deal is such an odd film out in Schwarzenegger's filmography, but I've always really liked it. I had it on like widescreen VHS and the clamshell and everything. So it's like I had that, and then I just I did have the DVD, and now I got the Blu-ray, and it's like I really just like it. I did a review of it. Go check it out. I just have so much enjoyment from that. But getting a little Return of the Living Dead action. This is the just a standard MGM release of the first film, and obviously the Vestron video version that I did get it very in depth with last October. And the first film's fantastic. It's wonderfully fun, clever, intelligent, fucking satire and all this type of stuff. Wonderful time. And the last film, the Riddick stuff, the 2013 film, yeah. Didn't like it at first because I was kind of like all up in the sort of Necromonger Chronicles of Riddick stuff. But after I revisited it, had my expectations in the right place, I really enjoyed it. I really have had urges to watch this again, because really just like the character in general and the entire world that they kind of create around that character and everything. But it's been one of those franchises that has never really just gotten its momentum, really kind of getting enough support or whatnot to really kind of make it successful to keep it going and whatnot. It kind of lives and then kind of dies and then kind of lives again. So who knows? But metal pack version of RoboCop, you can tell by the kind of spine there type of thing. But because I had the DVD that was in the Steelbook, I was like, I can't just go up to a plastic freaking keep case for RoboCop on Blu-ray. I gotta get a metal pack. So took a little bit of doing, but I had to get it that way. A Rocky heavyweight collection, so it's the first 6 films up to Balboa and everything. So I'm sure Trent and I, we're big Stallone marks and everything, we'll get a little bit of Rocky. I was thinking, I don't know how much we'll get out of the first Rocky as a commentary. Second one, maybe something, but 3 and 4, absolutely. We'll get a lot out of that. And I picked up Rundle Night some time ago, a couple years ago. And I got it used because it was a really good price, because this thing was selling for like $28 or whatnot at Best Buy because the film didn't do too well theatrically, so they were trying to milk as much as they could from the Blu-ray copies. So I was very glad to have gotten that at a much more cheaper price, used. And now, gotta speed through this a little quicker because we're getting up to about an hour into this thing. Got Scream on Blu-ray, and it's like, because I got the director's cut Laserdisc, and I was like, I should do a review of this, and I kind of sit down and try and watch Scream again, and I don't find I enjoyed it as much as I used to. I don't know what it is, just whatever it is, I just don't seem to really kind of catch on with the film as much as I used to. There's a weird thing. I really liked it back in the day. I don't know. It just doesn't quite catch me as much as it used to. Great little 3-pack here. 7, Insomnia from Chris Nolan, and Devil's Advocate. I love all 3 of these films. So this was a nice, easy way to upgrade all 3 of them in a nice, compact type of set. Shadow from Scream Factory. A film I really like, probably because it is Russell Mulcahy. It's a beautiful looking film. There's a lot of elegance to it. Great Jerry Goldsmith score. I really like Alec Baldwin's portrayal in the film. He just nails a lot of different things. Love the mix of all the tones of the film. A little bit of wit and humor, but also a lot of mystique as well. John Lone is fantastic in this. Wonderful actor. But definitely need to put more time into watching this Blu-ray again. Sicario, we got that sequel coming up that, from the trailers, looks like it's potentially on the same quality level as the first film, but we'll have to see. So Soldado, what's just going to refer to it as Soldado, but that's the sequel that's coming up to this. Definitely interested. Really good actors, Josh Brolin, Benicio in the sequel, and Emily Blunt in the first film, rock solid as hell. Sinister, as I did my mini review recently, which was a holdover from something I couldn't get done back in October, and so just upgraded this, and recently sold off my DVD copy. A little Southpaw here with Gyllenhaal and everything, and Forrest Whitaker, which saw in the theater. Really enjoyed it despite a lot of the familiar elements that you'd see in a film like this as a boxing drama and everything, but it was executed so very well from Anton Fuqua and all the very committed actors. There was a lot of quality, a lot of passion put into it, and there's a lot of grit in it as well, so I really appreciate what it had to offer in that type of way. And little combine these Star Trek things here. I've got the original 6 films on Blu-ray. I've got the director's cut version of Wrath of Khan here, and of course Beyond here from the Target exclusive version, which has a lot of these different artwork cards in it and everything, so really nice stuff there. And a little extra bonus content as well, so kind of got best of both worlds, as an unintentional pun there, but kind of a best of both worlds, getting a little extra packaging, accoutrements, and a little extra bonus content. So there's that. And the only Star Wars film I have on Blu-ray is The Force Awakens, for many, many reasons, because changes made to the original trilogy, not terribly happy with, and let's just leave the other newer films out of this because I just don't want to talk about it. Sudden Death, more Van Damage, fantastic film, fantastic. The best thing that Van Damme and Peter Hyams did together, Powers Booth is awesome in this. Just, again, I did a review of it 2 years ago. Definitely need to watch that review or just watch the film because I think it's fantastically done. Fantastic. And my Superman anthology set, which is going to come in handy very soon once Part 2 is out of the way. We get some Christopher Reeve going on, so we'll get into that very in-depthly. And of course my extended version from the Warner Archive and everything, that will also be involved with the review. Going to cover generally the 3 different cuts of the film, not in great detail, but I'll definitely address the versions of this film. And I picked up this about a year ago, Take It on Blu-ray, because I had the old DVD and just figured I'd pick this up. I was kind of, this is when I was waiting for my Evil Dead discs to arrive, and kind of picked this up on a whim, maybe thinking about doing a review of it. The Evil Dead stuff was going to be a bit delayed or whatnot, so things went around from there, and I haven't done that review yet, but time's gonna happen. But anyway, I got time for it. Tango and Cash for Stallone, Kurt Russell. Again, one of those films that is very tonally kind of wonky here and there. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes turmoil between director and producer and this, that, and the other thing. And apparently Stallone's the one that kind of kept the film somewhat together from completely falling apart. It does fall apart in some places, but in general, he at least got the film to remain on some sort of track so they can actually get it completed and put out at the theaters. Otherwise, it was a complete disaster. And a little TMNT type of action here. We only got this for kind of like the first film and the animated movie, because the sequels are kind of shit. Secret of the Use is definitely a big step down, and number 3 is like not even worth talking about. But definitely cool stuff there. I love the first movie. Love the original live action film. Absolutely, positively. And we're going to just swing past. I don't think I need to say anything more about Terminator 2. I've said enough. I did a fucking review of it a couple years ago. I went through every fucking version on freaking Blu-ray and DVD and Laserdisc. I don't need to say any more. I can say plenty about Criterion Collection's version of Thief, which has that color timing that you kind of hard to get used to, but here and there and whatnot, it's a lot better than the fucking DVD we used to fucking have. I'll take it. I'll take it any day of the week. I'll take James Caan kicking some ass on the streets of Chicago. It's a master thief. Wonderful stuff. And The Thing, Scream Factory Edition. Steve and I are definitely eventually going to do a commentary on this. I think it's inevitable. So I kind of think about, in one way or another, kind of redoing a lot of those first Forever Horror Month reviews in some fashion. I don't think really want to do another review of this, but a commentary would be actually fantastic for us to delve into. Get Steve involved with that and get his own opinions into the mix of everything. That'd be awesome. Do I really need to share 3 Days to Kill? It's just absolute fluff, but I can throw it on and just not give a shit and just enjoy myself and just whatever the case. But original Total Recall and the remake, which I really don't need anymore. I could talk about that at another time, whatnot, but I picked it up when I was doing, I had this failed because of me, because I didn't follow through on. I had this show I was working on really intensely back in like 2014 called The Extended Edition, where I was going to use this sort of platform, this format or whatnot, to just kind of talk about alternate cuts of other films. So I did Riddick, which had a director's cut on Blu-ray, and that version, which also had a director's cut, that had a lot of different things added into them, and I just never did anything more with it. I just kept on with the Forever Cinematic reviews and just adding in details about alternate cuts when I'm actually reviewing the movie. So I just never followed through on the rest of the series. So that was that. Transformers, the movie from the screen, Shout Factory. Excuse me if I mix that two up, whatnot. But the Shout Factory release, which is definitely better than DVD. Definitely better than DVD. But some people say the black levels are fine for them. Other people, like myself, find that the black levels are a little off in the film. So I don't know. Maybe different calibrations for different TVs. I don't know. But I didn't find that the blacks were as strong as they could have been. But it's generally a good release. The documentary on this thing is fantastic. They did a lot of work into that, making it look fantastic. Production values are through the fucking roof on it. Did a great job there. Got Underworld on Blu-ray because Underworld films are mediocre to me. I always felt like these films could be a lot fucking better if they just put in a little more fucking effort and maybe a little bit more levity. And then they kind of just went downhill after like the third film. So whatever the case, I gotten that Blu-ray because I was thinking about doing a review of it, and it's just a complicated film, the first film, to really do in any sort of easy type of way. I got a complicated history there with that franchise. But Walk Among the Tombstones, Liam Neeson stuff. If you've not seen this one, if you kind of breezed over it with the rest, a lot of the other action stuff he did, this is like a William Friedkin detective thriller. So if you like stuff like that, like a nice gritty 70s type of film, whatnot, this is definitely the type of thing to go off of. I really enjoyed that film. And the Warlock collection from Shout Factory and everything, very interesting. I pretty much got it because I love the first film. Whether it has flaws or whatnot, here and there, whatnot, but I still really enjoy it. I still have the old VHS over here, but because the second film is shit. The second film, it's just shit. I can't watch it. It's really not good. I can't even watch it with the commentary from Anthony Hitchcock, so the commentary is not very good either. The third film has Bruce Payne, which I can probably review. It's got Bruce Payne, got Ashley Lawrence from Hellraiser, so it's Bruce Payne, I think, better than he is in Highlander Endgame. It might be, I really got to see Passenger 57 again, because, again, Bruce Payne, Wesley Snipes, give it another shot. I haven't seen it in a long time. Fucking Whiplash, man. This film blew me away. I saw this I went to see this in the theater. The chairs weren't terribly comfortable, but this film blew my fucking mind, man. I was glad when this thing won Best Editing, because the editing in this film is just brilliant type of stuff. This film is amazing, just flat out amazing. Both J.K. Simmons and Miles Teller, wonderful performances. It is a two-man show. You can't just have J.K. as the pinnacle in this film. Miles Teller has to pull his weight. He absolutely does. This is a fantastic fucking film. If you want to be inspired as an artist to push forward with whatever it is that you have as an aspiration, this film will get you there. Absolutely. And the Wolverine, the unrated edition that really enjoyed. I really enjoyed this film. I really do. I really do. A lot of people are a little back and forth on this and whatnot, but I really just enjoy this so much. I just really get a charge out of this. Even if there is some things that people view as maybe a little tonally off in the third act and whatnot, I just generally like the film in general. It really just gets me going. And got just standard Blu-ray of Wonder Woman here, which is still a really good film. Really enjoyed this. I saw it twice in the theater, and it's got a really just positive, again, Richard Donner Superman-esque feeling, which was a definite influence that Patty Jenkins had going into this. So she really captured that type of spirit and implemented it into this type of story and this style of character. I really enjoyed what they did overall with it. And wrapping up with basically just the X-Men films I've got. So I got original, I got X2, and both versions of Days of Future Past here. One was the original release with the metal pack and everything, which is really kind of cool and everything. Then I have got the road cut, which is kind of redundant when if I have this becomes kind of redundant because they both have both versions of the movie on this disc, so I don't technically need this, but it's a fucking beautiful freaking metal pack here, man. It's really fucking beautiful. But regardless of that, that's everything I got in terms of films. I might end up doing another video where I cover my TV series collections and whatnot, but it's a little different vibe there. So might go for it at some point in time, but anyway, gotta kind of decompress here. Going on for a little longer than intended, but probably shorter than I thought it would be. So there you go. I think the last one was about 55 minutes or so. This is a little longer, but regardless of that, that's everything. That's everything in terms of films I've got on Blu-ray. And there's all DVDs back there. I'm not going through that. That'll be like 3 hours long. But regardless of that, you might get into the TV series stuff because there's some interesting stuff there with a few Blu-rays mixed in everywhere and everything. But hey guys, just post your comments or whatnot. If there's something in here you'd really love to have, let me know what really kind of gets a charge for you. Like really excited that's in my collection that I might do a review of it at some point or a commentary or whatever it is. Just throw it up there. So I gotta turn this camera off and put all this stuff back over here because I think the desk is starting to give. I don't know. It feels very heavy. So anyway, guys, that's the Blu-ray collection for this point in time. So if I ever do another one of these things, it's gonna get really long. So it's gonna be as long as one of our commentaries. So anyway, Guys, I don't know what else to say about it. So there's steelbooks, there's box sets, there's digibooks, there's all types of beautiful stuff here. So decompress, and hope you enjoyed that and appreciated me taking the time to sit down and run my mouth for an hour and 9 minutes or so. So guys, thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.